Hello and welcome to another episode of Alan Writes. We're working on Lucky Gold here. Yeah, we're working on Lucky Gold. All right. So anyway, sorry, part of my brain is stuck with trying to deal with YouTube and a way to blur my Google Doc address and the edit rights so that people just can't log on and edit my work. One of those things for this. So anyway, I'm having a problem with the blurring program, but let's ignore that. Part of my brain is going to focus on that, but let's get to it. All right, so last episode we wanted to hop to Gus, and the answer is no. No. But we are going to get a third character view when it comes to it. I have conjured a character, the general property manager for the casino, to interact with things because he's the one who deals with hospitality, the property as a whole, and one of the things is the hospitality of the high rollers. And his name is Nadine Goyal. The lift doors opened. Strode on out into the on the corridor, into the verted corridor. The greenery was well maintained, as per his direction, and only a few leaves betrayed the immense effort it took yeah. So, when you introduce a character, you've really got to hit home. I'm going to go back and do this for both Heather, Daniel, and Miss Kegsley, for that matter. Is all introduce them in a sharp, powerful manner. I can do that with Nadine here because he's coming into a story that's more fully formed. I didn't know what I was doing with Heather initially. I didn't know what I was doing with Daniel or Miss Kegsley initially. They were all sort of just filling roles. And while Nadine has a role, he's also much more of a fully developed character than anything else. He's got a job, a purpose, and a point of view that I can relate to and have the reader relate to as well. The greenery was maintained as per his direction, and only a few leaves betrayed that. And only a few. Nothing to worry about. Though he would direct the environmental engineers, see what could be done further. That was the key to managing a property. What more can be done? Oh, they want a tea there. What more could be done? What more can be done? Was it possible? Was it monetarily feasible? Was it monetarily feasible? It make enough of a difference to justify the cost. You ticked down the list. If the ticks We're all there. We proceeded. Okay, so today he was looking after their highest ruler, a woman who gambled no less than 4 hours each day and lost steadily each time, except when she won big. Until 3 months ago, no casino had ever had her listed as being their guest. But now she had been asked to leave 2 of them before coming to the triumphant. That worried him, and moreover, it worried their shareholders, the owners. So many unasked questions, but also a great many opportunities. But also a great opportunity. Singular. If a player played long enough, sooner or later the house would win. The odds demanded it. There's karma and there's dharma. No need to consider karma or dharma, fate or fortune, luck or luck a curse. All things eventually devolved to simple percentiles. Do I want that? Do I want that in there? That's kind of harsh. The odds demanded it. And he represented the house. All right, see that line there? The no need to consider dharma or karma, fate or fortune, luck or curse. That's for me, as the writer, to understand where he's coming from. I may use the line later, but not right now. And he represented the house. Today would inquire about their guest and see if she couldn't be convinced to come down and roll the dice again. He checked his watch. $11:59. 1359. The face of it read, military time was so much more accurate than the usual AM or PM of a schedule. Military time was so much more accurate than the usual AM or PM of a schedule. It solved the incorporation of it had smoothed over so many designation. All right, the incorporation had smoothed over so many scheduling errors that the model for it was being copied by numerous casinos. Guests could use AM or PM, of course, and the polite language of discourse likewise demanded it. But for internal purposes, the true 24-hour clock mattered. And was implemented. The true 24-hour clock held sway. The door to the room opened, and the butler, Miss Kingsley, exited. It was pleasing to see for she ordered herself well in the role. No complaints. Not for many years, many months. And those others were and those others in the times before were fine to be guests acting out of bounds. Well, she said to him and gave a simple nod. Miss Kingsley replied, "How is our guest?" "Up now, and having breakfast." And her fellow, the gentleman has not yet risen. As I said, his prior injuries and long hours might well contribute to that. Well, be contributing. It was interesting. How she readily defended those in her care. A 12-hour. Was it a 12-hour nap for him? If it was up till 4 a.m., a 10-hour rest be waived off for innumerable reasons other than sloth. Still, the young man, corporate sort who was discussing business with their high roller, or Miss Flowers, had indeed been in an accident earlier in the day. Discharged from the hospital with only a mild concussion. No, they wouldn't have with only a few aspirin to ease his pain. Would they use aspirin? No, they wouldn't use aspirin, would they? With a few Tylenol. Do I want to use Tylenol there? I think I can. Sometimes you don't want to use name brand products because the product placement will look bad, or they'll get issues here. Here I'm using Tylenol the way it's intended for pain relief. And there you go. There's nothing put off about it. I think I'll be fine with it. If the makers of Tylenol come to me and say, hey, you got to remove that, then yeah, I'll work around it. But it's something to consider. Yeah, for example, discharged from the hospital with only a good reason to sleep, and perhaps later the in-house doctor could stop by. Anything for a friend of Miss Flowers. And her $10.7 million in chips. Now let's punch that up on $30.7 million in chips. The house may always win. What did I say that was? The house may always win eventually. But that day had not yet come. That day had not yet come. Until then, the triumphant had a 30 million, had a large loss on the books to weigh against profits and a coming to account that would be painful. And a coming to account that would be painful. Had both a large that would be painful. Right now, it was as if they'd floated alone to Miss Flowers. The day she walked out the door for good, the day she cashed out. The day that mattered. Was the day that truly mattered. As of half an hour ago, the gentleman had not. Okay. Anything this needs? Goyal asked. Did I use the name Nadine Goyal? How about a visit? A visit from the doctor. In order. Good. Is she injured? I think she needs someone else to speak with. Oh? Yes. She's a scientist, you understand. And I don't speak her language. I didn't nod it. At that. Everyone loved their mother tongue. He no less than others. Of course, his dialect of Hindi was rather particular, since he grew up California. And then trained his accent, then accent to a bland Midwestern. Multiple layers. Multiple layers, and one of those had a master's degree. Why don't I make a call? I'll call him for now. Mr. Goya. Why don't I pay a comment for now? Doctor can attend later after he examined the gentleman. Very good, sir. Police said, I shall ask if Miss Flowers wishes company. She nodded and withdrew through the door. It was a good game, made for appearances' sake, though no one Kegsley knew who she truly worked for. Miss Flowers knew she couldn't turn down a visit from the general manager, and still he waited for permission. Not a long wait. And he was into the Beatrix to the recently refurbished, what did we call it before? It was it's named after that Roman who begins with a C, doesn't it? Oh geez, where's my Roman lore going? Come on, it's he bought a whole bunch of the apartments in Rome when there was a fire. Had the first fire brigade. Was as wealthy as Crassus. There we go. And he was led into the a shambles of cast off of antique furniture and potted plants. But Miss Flowers, it indeed seemed to bloom amid it all. Okay, so they'll talk. They'll talk. We're getting the get the casino's perception. She'll agree to another stint downstairs. Not poker. That was last night. Something else? Baccarat? Chess? Oh, they don't do chess. There's nothing random. Okay, so there we go. That's what it's going to be. Next time they're going to talk. And again, these conversations are in many ways for me as the writer to kind of figure things out, because eventually we're going to find that he'll visit Daniel, find Gus there, came in with the bags. Gus has shaved badly, cut his own long hair badly, and got himself some gift store clothing, t-shirt, and sweatpants. He'll use his flashing silver on Nadine to less than impressive results. Can only nudge him, not suggest. All right, there we go. So I hope you've enjoyed this little walk. We're getting a new character. New characters are fun. That's a page of new characters. New character, specifically, and how they interact with things. So now we've got we've got 5 characters involved, and that should give me enough. Because some of these are secondary. Gus and Miss Kegsley, I don't think we'll ever have to see through their eyes. But the main 3 they might, and how they view others will keep things interesting enough until I can finally figure out who the big bad is. And of course, we're going to have another one with the dead Olmec king, or Aztec king, whose spirit has an echo in the mask. So we're going to get to that, because we're going to hand off from Nadine here to what do you call it? To Miss Flowers, Heather, and she's gonna talk and polish the artifact, which I should note down. Heather, not polish the artifact in the sun. It's turned against the wall. She did that so she could sleep. Didn't dare sleep without it, or with it, or yeah. She's on edge. Did she imagine it? Polish, talk, and yeah. The king comes out. Okay. I'm looking for a little ways ahead, and I may act on these notes, I may not. That's the way it is. But I hope you've enjoyed this. Stay safe out there and take care. Thanks.